Ellie, it's good to be back. Good to prove we weren't a one-hit wonder. Didn't hit and run, came back, thought we'd deliver our little youngings a second ep.
Se- Second ep, you should be very grateful. Simon, you sound defeated. What is going on? You sound like you got the Ronies. What's happening?
Down bad, Ellie. Yeah, crook as a dog. Last thing I feel like doing is recording an ep, but here we are. Alistair twisted the rubber arm. I'd love to be asleep, getting some well-earned shut-eye, but here I am feeding the baby birds.
You got to commit to the pod, boys. You got to commit to the pod. I mean, I admire your commitment. It's very admirable.
It just would have been the most us thing ever for us to be like, we're back, record 1 week of an episode, and then just take like a 2 week break and be like, oh, we'll be back.
Yeah. Look, we're nothing but if not committed. Got a new kit. What are you rocking there? I mean, a little bit of a Paris Olympics, shout out there.
Yeah, I thought I'd get in the theme of things. Rocked the I think 1998 Croatian kit last week, so another number that I spent way too much money on. I feel like my new thing is instead of buying random JPEGs of football players, I just buy random kits. So French, I look French, I feel French, I sound a little bit French, so it's really getting the theme.
I love it. Oh, mate. Well, probably a better investment too, buying retro kits than so rare NFTs. I don't know about you, man, but it's looking at the state of the market at the moment. I mean, I'm selling cards. I don't know about you, but like the market is active, but man, the prices are so depressing. It's really hard to look. I mean, I think Andy and Gator Guy were talking about their Dusty Dusan Tadiches that they bought for like $3,500, and I saw the other day that like Dusan Tadic rare is going for like $65. I was like, man, that hurts. That hurts my soul.
I mean, you've said it a few times, but do we dare say we've hit rock bottom? Have we hit the floor?
I've always been like, we'll never hit zero because, as long as there's cash to be won, then the cards that are contributing are going to have value, but we might come very close.
And it's gone.
It's a little bit concerning. I just can't see a world where we get out of this, Ulster. I can't see a world where we return to the good times.
What a grim start to the pod. Okay, well, let's switch things up a little bit. I mean, you're wearing the French top, a little bit of an ode to the Olympics, the Satanic Games, Simon. Have you been following the uproar? I don't know about your Twitter timeline, but mine is just 100% across the board. Like, Christian Twitter is out in force.
Oh,
furious at the Olympic Games. What did you think? Did you watch the opening ceremony?
You couldn't pay me to watch the opening ceremony. I knew multiple people that were like, yeah, I sit down and watch it every week, but every year.
Every week?
Just on repeat.
Just sometimes when I'm feeling bored, I watch the 2004 opening ceremony.
All I know is that there was people on boats. The Italian high jumper lost his ring in the river. And that's about as far as my knowledge goes.
Wow, you and I have got very different timelines, Simon. All I'm hearing about, I mean, I watched the opening ceremony. I'm a big fan of the opening ceremony. I respect the tradition. I like to watch the countries where they've got like two guys or one guy that's representing, and he comes out and he's got the flag and he's just like just crushing it for Eritrea or whatever country they're from. But Simon, it's the Satanic Games, mate. Didn't you know that there's a grand conspiracy to fly in the face of Christianity and religion as a whole, and that this opening ceremony was just a curtain being dropped on the satanic undercurrents that rule our world through the deep state. Is that not what your Twitter timeline is feeding you?
I'm freaking out, man.
Mine's just mostly like Sorare managers like resharing and giveaways, to be honest. I think I might have seen something about, was there some like artist, like some like dance or something with like a fat woman, and it was like something. I briefly, I think I saw something about some fat woman, and it was depicting something that was antichrist, but I can't be sure.
Well, okay, so I mean, like I said, I don't know why, but my Twitter timeline has just been like furious Christians, and it's because there was, I think, what they're taking offense to is that there was what seemed to be a recreation of the Last Supper. You know, the famous Last Supper, right?
It's a famous get together. Yep.
Yeah, and it was basically instead of Jesus, it was a fat DJ, and then all around her there was kind of people of varying genders and sexualities. It was quite an inventive bunch of human beings that was surrounding her, and then they all kind of like partied around. You know, she was pretending to DJ. She didn't move the entire ceremony, which I thought was quite impressive. She just, I mean, you know. I don't know what she was capable of on the movement front, but she was just, you know, she was just changing the levels, crossfading through the entire ceremony. It was a bit of a party. I liked it.
Right. So I wasn't too far off with my fat lady comparison because it sounds like I sort of hit the nail on the head a little bit.
Yeah, and then there was this guy that kind of he was unveiled. Now this guy, I'll see if I can share. So this guy's causing a bit of a stir, Simon. I'll share my screen here.
Okay. I don't know how, but I've somehow, I don't know. Oh,
Yeah, so this guy kind of rocked up with his nuts out.
Smurf.
And yeah.
Papa Smurf.
He was singing a weird song, and everyone was kind of basically like, you know, this is the Antichrist. This is, you know, the end of Christianity as we know it. But I don't know about, I mean, again, you didn't watch it, so it's a bit hard for us to kind of have a bit of a back and forth on this. But this is clearly just, you know, I mean, the Olympics is a Greek thing, right? Like it's
Yeah.
you know, the Greeks were absolute freaks.
Oh, yeah.
Like if you know anything about Greek history, they were doing some crazy shit. I mean, they kind of like, you know, they started to learn a little bit more about philosophy and kind of looking inwards and, you know, who am I? What is the self? And then they just had basically like crazy sex orgies and, you know, drank a lot of wine, painted themselves blue. They probably had lots of fat DJs. Like, this is just an ode to the Greek tradition. I don't think this is a slight on Christianity at all. This is just Dionysus, Lord of Good Times.
Yeah, and also probably just need to not be so sensitive. I mean, if you're going to let your whole, you know, religion be, you know, slammed and put through the mud by Papa Smurf, you know, you've probably got bigger issues, bigger fish to fry. Some would say.
That's right. I mean, they call it a faith for a reason, you know. And if a Smurf is gonna rock you to your core, you know, you need to rethink. You need to go back to the altar, I think, and, you know, think twice about, you know, just how unshakable that faith is.
Now, you've obviously recently become a father yourself. In fact, have you? I'm assuming this has been a big help to your Olympic watching ability. Obviously, over in Australia, all the Olympics are on at like 12 o'clock in the middle of the night. So I actually haven't watched a single second of Olympics, but I'm assuming you might be a bit different.
You should have a kid. You should have a child. It's great for your Olympic watching career.
Right.
Yeah,
right.
no, I've been watching. I mean, obviously, didn't let her watch the opening ceremony. Couldn't let her watch that filth. You know, that's no sight for little eyes. Some naked blue ball sack on the big screen. But yeah, I've been watching some Olympics. I kind of forgot. You forget that these sports are only played on television once every 4 years for a reason. They're not the most entertaining sports you've ever found.
What's the most boring one you've watched so far, would you think?
The problem with watching it live is there's a lot of standing around. There's a lot of just like shots of admin. A lot of people like running with clipboards, kind of getting ready for the 10-meter pistol event, you know? Like it's there's a lot of just getting ready and not a lot of actual action.
Well, it's interesting, not to take away from the Olympics, Alistair, but I actually did get my 20 seconds of fame, speaking of admin being put in the limelight.
Go on.
If you were tuning in onto the national broadcast around Australia last Friday night, you might have seen a certain Simon on the screens for 19 seconds they held it on me for.
That's a lot. That's excessive, I would say.
my DMs have been pinging off. Fame's
Who is
obviously
he?
changed me a little bit. But also, like, I mean, every sort of kid dreams of getting on TV, right? Like, that's the goal. Now, I do have a little bug to bear with the cameraman because, I was expecting that my 20 seconds of fame would have been me, like, lifting up the trophy, doing something cool, like maybe high-fiving one of the players, like looking like one of the boys. Instead, I'm assuming the cameraman didn't know the camera was on me, but he's filming me with like the world's worst side profile, with me with like a triple chin, getting my camera settings ready to hand to the cameraman so I can interview the player. It's not even me interviewing the player; it's me getting ready with like my hair's a mess, the double chin's out, and I've had people messaging me like all week, being like, "I saw you on TV. You look like an absolute idiot." And it's it's kind of depressing.
Oh shit. Okay, so I was going to say like you're not the next Hawk Tour girl.
No, I didn't quite seize my moment, which is
When
kind of
are you
disappointing.
starting your OnlyFans?
Yeah, well, it's in the works. Obviously, I'm sure like I have a pretty big following. I mean,
Who wants to see the guy with triple chins who's really good at changing camera settings for 19 seconds? Who wants to see him take his top off?
hey, people subscribe for niche things. To be honest,
That's true. That's true. I mean, Simon, look, you were in media. You should know that the camera's always on. And I mean,
Yeah.
you must have known that you're on the field with the players and that it's post game. There's camera. Like, did you not feel the camera's presence behind you? Were you not
Well,
aware?
the worst bit is like about 15 seconds in, I like look up at the cameraman and like keep like as if like I'm still here, but I'm assuming that he's going to be filming the guy. Why is he filming me? Like he mustn't have known that his camera was on because the poor watcher back home had 20 seconds of air of just some random media guy just flicking through the settings. So I don't know, it baffles me, but that was my 20 seconds of fame. Which sort of leads me to my point, Alistair. I've been doing a bit of reflecting throughout the week, actually.
Mm.
Obviously, I've been sick, as I can probably sound. Had a lot of time to self-reflect with my time at home.
Mm.
I feel like I need to find a girlfriend. I feel like I wasted valuable years of my life on JPEGs of random football players. I mean, I spent hours scouting. I spent hours, watching random J League games when I'm starting to think, like, looking at myself on that TV screen with the triple chins and the wayward hair, I thought maybe I've let my prime slip. Maybe 2 years ago during the ETH boom, that was my time to get out and talk to the ladies. Is it all too late now? Is my hopes of ever finding love gone? Is the closest thing to connection going to be my Sho Sasaki rare card?
It might be. I mean, you can't even show them your so rare collection and be like, look at this. This is, Gary V Boom. I'm a bit of a crypto guy. I'm have you heard of NFTs? Let me explain it to you. Like a bit of mansplaining. Now it's kind of like, oh, I have this picture. It's worth $8. What do you think of that? Yeah, I mean, I've got to take a little bit of blame myself. I mean, I'm a man who's, I'm in a steady relationship. I have a child. I'm watching the Olympics. I'm watching the admin people getting ready before the 20-kilometer walk. I feel like so rare and NFTs that kind of I'm 1 year away from starting to play like Flight Simulator on my computer setup. Like that's my life stage.
You drive a truck, you pick up cargo, you haul it across the country or destination.
But you're a young buck. You're on TV for 19 seconds. You're in your early 20s. You've got a mustache. Maybe you're right. Maybe you did waste the prime of your life spending hours on Sorare data looking at Japanese midfielders when you should have been out there practicing your cunnilingus skills.
Because, like, I guess I get to the point where a pretty lady walks into the bar.
A pretty lady.
I get a bit of Dutch courage, and I walk up to her. But the only thing I can think about is like, did you catch the game last night? Have you seen Sho Sasaki's L15 lately? It is concerning. And apart from that, I really struggled to connect on a deeper emotional level. And you look, is it the mustache? I probably have to ask myself some hard questions. Look, do you like the mustache, Alistair?
I mean, I'm not a pretty lady. As much as I try, I'm not a pretty lady. I can't. I don't think anyone in the Sorare. Are there any pretty ladies playing Sorare? Probably not. I don't know. Can we ask? Can we put it out to the Sorare community? Are there any pretty ladies that think Simon's Moustache is a winner? And do they know what a Duel 1 is?
Because I think you've got to surround yourself. What I've been thinking about, Alistair, is I've got to put myself into better scenarios. I've got to put myself in situations where I can meet the right lady. And I feel like Sorare, like you touched on, that maybe that's not the most fruitful area of my time. Like, I don't think, do any ladies play Sorare? Like, I'm actually not too sure.
I don't think they do. I mean, my wife loves it. She loves it when I talk about Sorare. She absolutely froths it. She can't get enough.
Yeah, and I don't know, it just got me questioning whether, do I keep the Mo? Does the Mo go? Because what's the actual strike rate of the Mo? Girls say they like a Mo, but is the proof in the pudding? And so my question to you, Alistair, is what activities, so we've seen the Olympics happening, people can get into niche sports, you can be an Olympian for rock climbing. Like, you know, an Olympian, if you say that in a bar, that's going to hold some weight. Like, you'll be swimming in it. What are some niche activities that I can do to get myself into some scenarios where I can meet some lovely, pretty ladies?
I think you've got to become an Olympian, Simon. Is this the start of your Olympics career? Are you going to shave the Mo off and pick up the pole vault as we discussed last week? I mean, because we were kind of joking, but maybe that's the key. Maybe that's the key to your future love life is, becoming an Olympian, getting those rings tattooed on your inner bicep. Pretty sexy.
Is there anything to do with the Olympics where certain people from certain countries have an easier path to the Olympics? So if you're a Venezuelan javelin thrower, is it easier for you to become the best javelin thrower in Venezuela and therefore book your ticket to the Olympics? So my question to you is, do I need to move to a niche random country, become the best of a very niche and random sport to become an Olympian to find myself a girlfriend?
Yeah, I mean, Eastern Europe it's right there. I mean, there's so many, pretty much all of the Olympic sports are just mostly played, I think, in Eastern Europe. So I think get yourself to Latvia, shave the Mo off, stop playing Sorare, and start playing Greco-Roman wrestling.
Okay, all right. Well, that sounds. I was expecting you to go with something like join a book club, volunteer somewhere. But
no, I think it's got to become an
Latvian
Olympian.
wrestling.
I don't know how anyone. It's been a while since I've met a woman. I'm trying to think if it was because I was an Olympian. No, I don't think it was because I was an Olympian. But I think these days, in the age of like Hinge, Tinder, Bumble, if you want to set yourself apart, chuck an Olympian in the bio is pretty strong.
Why even have to go to the Olympics? Just put it in the bio. Like, I mean, what, they might find out 10, 15 years later down the track?
You talk about stealing some valor? Stealing valor? Olympic valor?
I mean,
that's a crime.
Worst case scenario, you get married, you have kids, 10 years down the track, it comes up, hey, babe, tell the kids about how you went to the Olympics. Oh, never actually went. What's she going to do? Leave you? You've got 2 kids at home. She's not going to leave, Sally and Jerry.
Yeah. She's relying on that Sorare income to feed the kids.
I heard somewhere that Olympians are 12 times more likely to be hired. So not only is my job opportunities going to rise, I feel like opportunities with the ladies is definitely going to rise.
I can't argue with that. I mean, all right. Well, I look forward to seeing what your Olympic career. I mean, you've got 4 years. Now is the perfect time to start an Olympic career because you've got as much time as humanly possible before the next ones. Yeah, looking forward to it.
And also, just to finish off this point, Alistair, because I know you said, look, you're stealing Olympic valor, blah, 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 blah. It's just like applying for a job. If you put on your resume that you studied biomedicine at a university for 4 years, right? You apply for the job. As long as you got the necessary experience, you don't actually have to. Have you ever shown an employer your certificate from university?
I don't have one. I dropped out. I'm Zuckerberg, man. I'm a what are those? I'm a Zuckerberg. I'm an Amazon. I'm an entrepreneur. I drop out of universities. I don't finish degrees. That's for losers. That's for factory men. I'm a visionary. That's me. That's me. 3 years of university degree that I paid for but didn't really ever get to finish. So I'm not
Nice.
the right guy to ask.
Here you are, 8:41 on a Thursday night, recording an episode about a fantasy football game.
That's right.
You showed them, bro.
Absolutely. Universities for losers.
That's great.
All right. Cool. Well, look, I mean, it's as much as it's sad that you're having a bit of a midlife crisis around your marital status. Let's not focus on that. Let's focus on Sorare for a little bit. You've had, I mean, the J League's off at the moment, Simon. So Sorare's just been completely off your radar, but there is a lot happening.
Yeah, I've been putting training lineups. I actually checked before and just waiting for, are they ever going to play again? I don't know.
I think
Are
they have
they
a
all
couple of
the
weeks
Olympics?
off. I did see that Sam Frecce are playing tonight, Simon, and it'll be the debut. Let's see how they're going. The debut of Tolgay Arslan in the midfield. So very interested to see how he's going. Let's have a look. Here.
No.
Come on now. Here we go. Oh, they're playing against Stuttgart in a friendly.
Wait,
1-0
are the
down.
J League teams playing a friendly during the middle of the season?
I don't know what the break
That
is
seems
for, whether
dumb.
it's for the Olympics or I'm not sure. But I think they usually have a mid-season break most years. So, yeah, you're just enjoying that. I have noticed that whilst they've been away, Cecina has been smashing for you, just on his own. So those training lineups must be looking pretty good.
Yeah. Tried the one-man Threshy, haven't quite hit it, but
I mean, we've had the 3-man Threshy, we've had the 4-man Threshy. The 1-man Threshy that's the holy grail, isn't it? That's the holy goat.
I mean, that would be impressive. Must be said.
Well, look, nothing's been happening on your side of the pond for Sorare. Have you had any more thoughts about, the upcoming, J League's not got that much longer to go on the season? Are you planning for, some European action? What are your thoughts?
I'm probably just going to keep with my champ boys. I'm keep adding to that. I've got a few different pieces. Picked up a Ivan Toney thanks to the Euro friendlies.
Yep.
Little competition we had.
Lovely.
Yeah, probably just going to keep rolling them out. I think. Maybe I might add a few more pieces so I can run 2 teams. If I do limited, like you said, it's not going to cost me much. So,
have you been paying attention at all to the latest in-season condom wrapper drop? The champion cards are now live. Simon, have you seen any of that?
What do you mean by live?
Well, they've basically launched the 2024-2025 champion cards, obviously, in their condom wrappers. No jerseys, no images. Now, they have been running a promo at the moment, Simon, where if you buy one off the auctions or the instant buy, there is a chance, and people have been splattering my Twitter feed in amongst the satanic cult conspiracies and the pictures of people being shot in the face, which is my Twitter feed at the moment. It's been a lot of people going hey, I bought an Mbappe and I got a free Haaland. People are they basically every now and then if you buy a card, they'll just give you another one for free, which I think is quite a cool little promo. They've also been giving out essence for everyone who buys a new card. So my question to you, Simon, is it time for you to maybe dip the toe back in the market, get the wallet out a little bit, maybe spend a bit of cash, throw a bit of money around, help keep Sorare alive?
Throw Sorare a lifeline. Tempting offer, Alistair, given our aforementioned constant plummeting in prices. But in all seriousness, I the in-season probably is something I could look at in limited. Because it actually does make sense.
Now, yeah, I think so too. I've been thinking about this. I saw the contender rare scores this last week. So Russia's back. I think Croatia's back. Austria's back. Bundesliga 2 is back. Actually, this was last week. So it was before all of those were back. It was just Russia, Argentina, Korea. And to get a card, to get a tier 5, I think the cutoff was 460 points. Laird actually won with 530 points or something, so congratulations, Laird. But basically my point is it's going to be real tough to win cards in Classic moving forward. which is kind of depressing. But in season, like you say, Simon, if you're willing to splash a little bit of cash, buy some good players, buy some good condom wrappers, potentially that potential is always there to potentially that potential. Ugh, that's terrible. Bad Ingridge. You've got that possibility of winning some cash, maybe paying off, a little bit of the hole of debt that we're both in.
Yeah, got a
So
fair bit of
rare
winning
hole.
to do. What about you though, Alistair? Because you're in a bigger hole than I. For your most important super rare has just gone down the drain.
Oh.
Not the jersey announcement you wanted to be seeing.
Mate, I could. The entire Middle East can just fuck off.
But you don't say that.
Oop.
You heard it here first. It's controversial, I know. But God damn it. That was not on my bingo card for 2024. Was Julian Dessart getting a big money move? I mean, they must play Sorare in Qatar. I mean, there's no other reason why you would be throwing big cash at a midfielder, 32-year-old midfielder from Ghent. Like, what's going on? But sure enough, the rumours came out, and as we know with the rumour mill on Sorare, Simon, once you see it on Twitter, it's too late. Whether it's in the positive or the negative, it's too late. The price has gone up or gone down, depending on what's happened.
But he's dead now. Like, he's never... Like, there's no chance of him coming back.
Got some Asian Champions League coming up later in the year, so I'm looking forward to rolling him out then.
To be fair, though, Alistair, I mean, he was crushing it. So, like, a move kind of makes sense. Like, he was dominating.
Yeah, dominating Sorare, but we know that the real life Sorare kind of intersection is not always.
Yeah, but he was having a lot of decisive, so he was getting assists, goals. Like, he'd have to be one of the leading ones in the Belgian league.
True, yeah. So, I mean, that was a real dagger because he was a pretty integral part of my plans coming up. Transfer season is I really enjoy transfer season because it's like there's those dead cards in your gallery that could potentially come back to life. You can buy a few. I really like looking at the market and going, right, this guy made a move to, Wolfsburg and has just sucked. Good example, Vaclav Cherny. I don't know if you remember him.
Yeah, I remember him.
Smashed it at Twente, went to Wolfsburg, didn't play. So it's like, right, well, his move to Europe has failed. Those are the kind of players that you're like on the lookout for in this time of year because you're like, right, they can't be happy not getting any minutes at said big club. Surely there's a loan move on the cards or they're just going to get sold because they're not in their plans. And that's when they go, look, I thought I was a baller. I'm not a baller. I suck at football, actually. I need to go back to a league that's more my size. And in the case of Vaclav Cherny, he's gone back to the Scottish Premier League. He's playing for Rangers, where I'm sure he was going to crush. I didn't pick up on that one, but this is the time of year where you can be looking out for those little, take a little punt on a guy that used to be good and is now shit and then could be good again.
Well, you picked up a forgotten gem, Mike Tresor.
Mike Tresor.
Been rotting on the bench at Burnley. I actually watched him when he made his club debut for Burnley, and he was awful. I think he lost the ball every time he touched it. So safe to say that hasn't worked out for him. But rumour mill do be spinning.
Do be spinning, yeah. PSV
Juicy
have come a knocking, apparently.
That would be tasty.
Nice. That would be very nice. I love to think of like the internal monologue, the inside out. Oh, the inside out of a footballer's head, where they're like, Mike Tresor at Genk. He's like, God, I'm good at football. Look at this. I just kick it in, assist, kick it over there, goal. Man, I'm the best. And then they're like, right, you are the best. Come have a go at the Premier League. And then it's just screaming internally, Jesus. As he gets dispossessed again. Fucking hell. I do love the panic that's probably going through his head of like, oh man,
it's such a power move.
So much easier.
That was too hard. So someone's going to get hurt if you kick it that hard.
Yeah, talk about big fish in small pond kind of vibes.
Yeah. Yeah, some people can't make the step up. But yeah, I both love and hate the transfer window for that reason. I mean, the Middle East, I can't just say Saudi because Qatar is right in there, just fucking things up for everyone. that adds just a whole nother level of dread. It used to be kind of a fun. You'd be like, right, my Joey Veerman might get a move to Brighton and he might not be as good, but it's still, you're kind of excited to see them make that move into the Premier League. I can watch them on TV finally. But the Saudi thing there's just nothing good. There's nothing that that. I mean, yet the only good thing is you're like, right, Julian Dessart is getting paid now, which is great. Good for him. Like he's earned me a few thresholds over the years. I'm glad he's getting his bag. But apart from that, he's got to move to Qatar. He's playing for a league that no one gives a shit about. No one going to care about him on Sorare again. His career is essentially over. By the time he finishes in Qatar, he'll be like 38 and he might move to the A League. It's just all bad. And then I saw every morning is a new rumor, usually started by like some random guy being like, "Oh, did you know Trent Alexander-Arnold might be off to Dubai tomorrow?" And it ruins your week because you're like, fuck, do I sell him at a massive loss? Is this a real rumor? And then of course it is. It just sucks. It sucks.
This comes back to last week's dilemma for me, where I talked about how we'll take a random bot Twitter account's rumor as gospel. But when I have inside word from the player himself, I'm like, I might just wait. I might wait this one out, see what happens.
See what happens, yeah. No, Sorare is a land of the bold. You've just got to make that move.
But where there's smoke, there's fire. And I think one of the best moves you've ever done on Sorare was, remember when you won that goalkeeper from the Scottish League and you looked him up on Twitter and all the Scottish fans hated him? And you were like, I'm just getting the vibe that things aren't going to end well for him here, and I don't think he's been cited ever since.
No, George Long.
That's it.
Thanks for the half an eighth, buddy. Yeah. I mean, Twitter can be a pretty nasty place, but sometimes it can really tell you a lot about a footballer's ability, and often, the true fans will tell you pretty readily whether a guy is complete shit or not.
Oh, that's great. I love it.
Speaking of goalkeeper decisions, I may have made a mistake recently. I finished in the last reward spot of Cap 240 last week, smashing it. Got my $320 threshold, which I'm very happy with. Missed out this week by 10 points, which I was annoyed by. Captain the wrong guy. Captain Comes let me down. But I won a tier 5 goalkeeper, and is an 18-year-old called Egbert. He was actually called Egbert.
Isn't that the name of Hagrid's dragon in Philosopher's Stone?
So Egbert rocks into my gallery. I'm like, goalkeeper. It's usually a pretty good thing. I look him up. He plays he's the backup goalkeeper for the last place team in Bundesliga 2, which means that he's now in Bundesliga 3. Obviously not covered.
Not covered.
Not a real league. I'm all out of focus. Here we go. So I'm like, oh, come on, Sorare. This is not really good enough. I want to swap. Now, let me know what you think, Simon, but I've swapped an 18-year-old goalkeeper who knows, could be something. And as we know with goalkeepers, if they become something, they become very valuable. I'm not saying that Egbert from Bundesliga 3 is going to, make a move to Arsenal or Chelsea, probably to Chelsea. He might get picked up by Chelsea, actually.
Makes sense.
But I was like, I want to swap. And then, of course, as soon as I hit request on the swap, I knew it was going to be accepted because he's in Bundesliga 3. I was like, they're not going to send me something good. It's a tier 5. And, of course, they sent me like a 16-year-old midfielder from Nashville.
Oh, good.
Yeah, and I'm like, he's probably got much less of a chance. At least if Egbert just works hard, gets into Bundesliga 2 again, he could be a playing goalkeeper at some point, an under-23 playing goalkeeper. So the upside was there. I don't think my guy from Nashville is going to amount to much. I just don't think that's going to happen.
Obviously, Wonder Kids has always been an issue on the platform, but I think American, MLS Wonder Kids have always and will always be the biggest curse because, like you said, if you're a 16-year-old in Bundesliga 2, like there's every chance that you go up through and grow up and be a great German footballer. But like, if you're a 16-year-old in the MLS who hasn't already debuted, like you just know for a fact that they're going to be either nobody or just be like a 30 to 35 point merchant.
So what do you think about Caven Sullivan then making his debut at 14?
He's not 14.
He's
He looks
33.
like a 23-year-old man. He's not 14. He's cooler than I am.
Yeah, well, that's pretty high bar you've set there.
It's not.
He doesn't have a moustache though, does he?
Yeah, he doesn't, does he? Yeah, you try and grow one, Caden.
Probably has a girlfriend.
It boggles my mind. Has he been injecting testosterone since the age of 8?
I think that's what you got to do if you want to become a professional athlete now. I think you have to be on the program from like the age of 3. Like, I'm going to have to start looking into some HGH programs for my young daughter, pretty soon. She's only got like 6 months left before she has to enter the program.
If she's not holding a tennis racket in her hand by next month, like the boat has sailed for her professional career.
I mean, you've just finished reading Andre Agassi's book. Like, his dad used to like strap ping pong rackets to his hands as a toddler and peg salt shakers at him. Like, that's what it takes these days to become the best.
You can't be nice. Like, what has Caden Sullivan's parents done to him? But he's got like bleached hair. He's got like a necklace. Like,
I would have killed for bleached hair when I was young. Honestly, I thought having like blonde tips in your hair when I was 12, I thought that was the coolest thing. All of my favorite sports people were just the people who had blonde tips in their hair. Like, that was me. And he's done it. He's living the dream. He's living my dream.
You have Caden Sullivan's in your dreams.
Yeah.
Not gonna lie, I reckon you'd look good with a bleached blonde buzz cut. I reckon you'd rock it.
I often think that. Well, I don't think that, but I often see people with the bleached blonde hair buzz cut. Now, I think this problem, Simon, is that, and you can attest to this, the Rathbone hairline, we're not losing our hair, but we do have very high hairlines. That doesn't look good when you shave it.
True.
We've got a bit of like a, it's I think if you want to shave your head and bleach it blonde, you've got to have that like nice full Paul Walker hairline,
True. This is true. Yeah.
Yeah. Depressing but true.
How do we get there?
Before we get too far deep into our hairline and our history,
I don't know I don't know how we progress from Julian Dessart to that, but
mate, it's a late night podcast. It's you've got you got the Ronies, it's 9 o'clock at night here. This, things are going to get a bit wild on the pod.
Also, I definitely have Corona. Like, I had it's 1,000% Corona.
Oh yeah, what's your like regimen? How are you going to beat the Ronies? Are you going to get double boosted?
Yeah, I've had 5 vaccines the past week. No,
just have a hot bath, you'll be right.
Yeah, been gargling some salt water. That used to work back in the day.
All the COVID's trapped in your moustache, just dripping into your mouth slowly over the course of the day.
It's been good to see the support of the moustache online. Actually, copped some flack for it at the end of last season. It's interesting. Everyone's changed their tune.
Yeah, so the internet likes it, but the ladies don't. Is the theme of today's pod.
Yeah, I think so. It's also the fact that I just can't talk to women. But anyway,
you can tell them. You can break down the So Rare Matrix for them.
Can't even do that.
It's that time of year, Simon. The Premier League jerseys are out.
I love a jersey.
I love a jersey. Have you perused the latest updates from the Prem teams? Do you have any favourites? Who are your winners? Who are your losers?
You haven't given me any prep for this. I haven't actually looked at the jerseys in a list yet.
I'll send you. I'll show you a message that I sent you 1 week ago from today, being like, "It's that time of year again. Premier League jersey ranking time." And
I thought we were going to do it on the pod. I didn't realise. It definitely happened, didn't it?
Oh, okay. Well, stay tuned next week for Simon's Premier League jersey ranking when it's all old news and no one cares anymore.
Why can't I thought we were just going to do it now?
Come on, mate. You know you can't. We're going to go through 24 jerseys, like 48 jerseys by the time you look at home and away. You want to do that one by one? And then just... What kind of content is that? Like, okay, here's Newcastle's jerseys. Oh, yeah. Not bad. Now, here's Chelsea's jerseys.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair.
Good. Come on, Simon.
Okay.
Come on, mate. You're in media, Simon. First of all, you don't know where the camera is. You got 19 chins. The first rule of TV is keep your chins high. You make sure you know where the camera is. Keep your chins high. Never let your chins show. God, you're a mess.
I am. I've been quite ill.
Forcing you to do a podcast against your will when you really should be in a hot bath. All right, Simon. We'll can't wait for that next week. Let's bring back another segment that people love, that people have been missing.
Okay.
Moon or Dune.
It's time for a moon or dune.
Oh, good. Have I had to
Now,
prep for this?
I assume you haven't prepped for this because I didn't tell you to prep for this. But I've got a couple for you, and you can give us your Moon or Dune instant reaction. Okay. So some of the biggest kind of transfers of the summer so far. Again, it's an exciting time. What do you think about Elise to Bayern?
I really like it. That's a moon for me.
Moon?
Yeah, I feel like he sort of, when Eze and him were on the pitch together, they were just like top tier, and they were doing that in the Prem, and we've sort of seen like the jump up between, like, look at Harry Kane, he's scored like 40 goals. So I reckon him at Bayern, some good players around him. I only see upwards from here. Yeah.
Now, I was listening to the Sorare Data podcast recently, as I do.
I'm very sorry. Before this thought leaves my brain, I'm going to jump in here. Michael Elise is the man that I could never be. Have you seen the DMs of him chatting up to a chick on Instagram where she's like, "Don't you play for Cardiff?" And he's like, "I'm not playing for some championship team." Like, that man has aura. He's everything that I can't be.
Yeah, this could be you, Simon. You could be in Poland. This time next year, you've settled into Krakow. You're well on your way in your canoe slalom career, and then people, the chicks will be sliding in the DMs. And they're like, "Oh, you're a canoeist from Poland." You'll be like, "Babe, I won't be canoeing in Poland for much longer. I'm canoeing in the Olympics 3 years from now. You watch this space, baby. I'm hitting the slalom hard."
What's your snap?
Yeah, send us your snap. I'll send you some canoe pics.
Ooh.
Show us your kayaks. Okay.
Sorry.
Yes, Michael Elise got some game. I'm looking forward to him broadening his sexual horizons in Germany.
You had Laird? Something about Laird.
Oh, yeah, sorry. Laird made the point the other day. So I own an Elise Rare. I won one as a Tier 2 last year, which I was quite happy with. His price is currently floating around the $500 mark, probably a little bit less now that the new season cards are out. So let's say $400. Pretty good, right? For a Tier 2, that's unheard of in today's market. Probably one of the only valuable cards left in my gallery. Now, Laird made the point that at Bayern, you've got Kane, you've got Musiala, you've got Wirtz, you've got...
Is Wirtz at... Oh, damn.
Wait, no, Wirtz is at Bayer Leverkusen. Sorry, my bad. You don't have Wirtz.
I was like, whoa, that's a huge transfer.
My knowledge. You've got Ronaldo. You got all the big guns. You got Zidane. You got Jordan Pickford. No, so his point was like, there's a lot of really good attacking players at Bayern. Is there going to be enough to go around? Like, is everyone going to be able to... How many decisives can they have, and how much can that be shared around? How much game time are each of these players going to get? Like, are they going to be rotated all the time? Am I going to have another, like, Kevin De Bruyne on my hands where I'm like, oh, he might play, he might not? So that's the dilemma I've got in my head right now is, do I keep Elise and potentially have, like, an absolute smasher at Bayern, or do I sell him while his price is high? Because as we know, Simon, we don't know, you never know what's going to happen with the transfer. Everyone thought Kokchu this time last year was going to just be a god at Benfica, and he was barely even a saint.
Yeah, definitely had too many cooks in the kitchen kind of scenario. I can see him starting. Like if you're playing Musiala out wide, Kane up front. Just trying to think who his like central midfield competition would be.
Well, they've signed Palhinha as well from Fulham.
I don't know who that is.
I mean, Kimmich, although Kimmich has been playing in the backs, hasn't he?
He's been like CDM though, hasn't he?
Mm,
I reckon.
I think.
I feel like there's enough upside in that. Like
Yeah.
any good player going to Bayern, like we've seen what Kane can do.
Yeah, well, I need my. I mean, I've got my Spurs stack of Son, Romero, Vicario, and then probably in one of either Porro or maybe who else, depending on who else they sign. And then I need my like one other smasher. Like last year, it was De Bruyne. I sold him because I didn't want any part of that Saudi MLS nonsense. I need my like anchor. I don't know if Elise is it yet. I might need to sell him and pick up someone a bit more dependable.
Yeah, doesn't give me anchor vibes. One to watch.
Not giving me anchor vibes.
No.
Okay. Now, I mean, obviously, this is like the biggest transfer of the season. Mbappe to Real Madrid. What do you think? Moon or Dune? From PSG, he's moving to probably a more stacked team. Do you think he thrives?
As a Madrid fan, I'm stoked. He's gonna crush, man.
Yeah, I think so.
Like, you can say, oh, they're going to take decisives off each other, but when they score 9 goals a game, like it's not going to matter.
True, that's true. Yeah, the Madrid team is terrifying. It's really scary.
That's got to be the best team we've seen in a long time, on paper.
On paper, yes. It's going to be very interesting to see how they go. I think Mbappe's a moon too. I think he's only going to get better. And I mean, good lord, that team's ridiculous. What about Douglas Luiz from Aston Villa?
I'm just picturing the away sheds of like the 20th placed La Liga team, and the coach being like, "It's on us if we want to win."
Break Mbappe's legs. Oh, Simon, I completely forgot to tell you. A new milestone for me, Simon, last night in my goalkeeping career.
You broke someone's leg?
Almost. I got my first straight red card.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
How?
Bit harsh. I think I got the ball mostly. So I was having a bit of a shocker. It's a big game in our season. I'm in net. We're all pumped up. Big game. They get a free kick about 30 metres out, and this like 16-year-old on their team just hits like the perfect knuckleball. And I probably could have done better, but I just wasn't expecting. It was the first minute of the game. I just wasn't expecting like a peach from a free kick in the Division 4 Metro Men's League from a 16-year-old. He just bonted it into my top corner. I just kind of like stuck an arm out. Oh, fuck. So not a great start. 1-0 down already. I concede again. To be fair, the second goal was pretty tough. And then about 35 minutes into the game, long ball goes through. They break through the line. It's 1-on-1 on goal. I come out to try and cut the play off,
Yeah.
Probably the only problem I have as a keeper is to like sprint at the guy and try and shut it down.
Yeah.
Now, I don't really know what happened. It was all a mess of legs.
Blacked out.
But yeah, I blacked out, and then I woke up to the referee, who I'm pretty sure is like, he's had some special personal time thinking about giving out red cards. You don't see many red cards in Metro Div 4. This guy came over brandishing the little tomato slice with with a bit too much vigor, like I think he might have had an erection. But yeah, sure enough, straight red. So, and we lost the game. So,
great.
Not great. Not a good time for me last night.
Was it outside of the box or inside the box?
It was outside of the box, so it wasn't even a penalty. Again, I thought red was a bit harsh, but
you're outside the box. Like I'm assuming you haven't come and taken the ball cleanly.
Certainly not cleanly, no.
You've taken a bit of the man's soul with him, but
yeah, I'm someone who
that's great.
When people are playing football,
I've always looked forward to your movements into
I don't
goal,
know the rules well enough, so I never. Yeah. I'm always just like, all right, sounds good. So I kind of was just like, there's a lot of people arguing on my behalf, like, oh, he got the ball, he did this. I was like, I have no idea what happened. My arm hurts. That's all I know.
I have a
I'll head
slight
off.
concussion.
Yeah, slight concussion. So yeah, not good.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah. Anyway. Okay, what else we got? Any other transfers? Douglas Luiz from Aston Villa to Juventus. What do you think?
Ooh. In terms of a Sorare point of view, I don't know if he'll be that good, to be honest. I don't know if that's a really bad take.
Yeah, he was kind of like up and down for Aston Villa. Like he's had a real purple patch. He was, playing. I think he took pens, he took all sets, and he had all the makings of like a Sorare killer. And then he still had pens and still had sets, but just didn't score well for like the back half of the season. So I don't know. I don't really know too much about Juventus or anything to do with Serie A, to be honest. So I really don't know what he could be up to.
Yeah.
I'm going to say Dune. I think
Yeah.
it's a
I
Dune.
agree with that. Yep.
Yeah. Are there any other rumours off the top of your head that you kind of... I mean, those are confirmed. Are there any rumours that you've heard that you kind of like the sound of or that you think could be, potential Dunes?
You put me on the spot. Like I said, I've done zero prep for this podcast.
You're very ill.
I'm very ill. I'm ill, Elster.
What about Kobe? Not Kobe Manu. Conor Gallagher to Atletico Madrid.
Moon, in a Sorare point of view, I mean, he was fine at Chelsea, so have to imagine he'd do better at Atletico.
Yeah, a bit more fine. Yeah. Here's a good one. Okay, who do you think is the winner in this transaction? Napoli and Chelsea are considering a straight swap: Victor Osimhen for Romelu Lukaku.
Who is behind that from Napoli's point of view?
Someone surely who wants to see Napoli burn.
There's just no way. Have you watched Lukaku play? Bro is the only time he finds the back of the net is when he's offside.
I didn't think he still played. I was was surprised to see him at the Euros. I thought he retired. I thought he was like a TikTok star now.
He has to be the biggest big chance missed merchant I've ever seen in my life. Honestly.
I mean, I don't know what Napoli are thinking. I mean, in what world is that a straight swap?
But I have seen some stuff there's been some weird stuff going on with Osimhen and Napoli. I saw them make a TikTok about him.
Yeah,
he cracked the shits.
Some pretty weird racist TikToks.
Yeah, coming from the official Napoli account. I don't know.
Yeah, those were weird. Those TikToks, they were really quite cringy.
Oh.
What about, Calafiori to Arsenal? Have you been keeping up with this transfer?
I don't know much about this guy. All I saw is that while doing a post-match interview, his girlfriend proceeded to just neck on with him.
I mean, he's speaking of lovely ladies, he's a very attractive man.
He's a sexy man. I mean,
he's making me want to go full blue Smurf. If you know what I'm saying.
I think he'll do very well. And he's a moon, not for his footballing ability. I think he'll do very well.
Yeah, I mean, is their centre-back pairing going to be Ben White and Calafiori, just shiny white teeth, just tan.
Sucking each other off in the 70th minute.
Just 12 packs out there. Oh, man. It's going to be a very erotic season for Arsenal.
Yeah. If you remember how the Kansas City Chiefs, their popularity went up when Taylor Swift started dating Travis Kelce. I think the female population and the male population will be starting to root a little bit more for Arsenal.
That could be you for the sport of canoe slalom, Simon. You could really bring some much needed sex appeal to the rivers and streams of northeast Poland.
Long curly hair and a dirty stash is what's been missing from the kayaking scene for many years. It must be said.
Now let's end the podcast by talking about your stash a little bit more, because I'm looking at it right now and I'm thinking it's solid, a little bit patchy. Have you tried growing it? What's the plan for this moustache? Can you give us a bit of an insight into your daily routine? How do you look after it? How do you style it? Have you got any grand plans? It's quickly becoming what people tune into this podcast for.
Well, I have, where are they? I have my tweezers, so like
tweeze?
pluck around the sides, over the top, keep it in shape.
See, mine's a little bit like mine's a bit. Mine's got a bit of overhang, you know.
But I don't want the overhang because
Bit of
you've got the
wingspan
beard for
to
it to
it.
go into. Mine's going down a no end street. Like, I think I need to keep it here because otherwise it just becomes this like long weird thing.
I'm all for it. I like my long weird thing. I think it's quite. It's only now that I'm looking at yours that I'm considering mine, and mine is a long boy, isn't it? It's like a foot long on
Really
either
goes
side.
past the bottom lip.
Yeah, it's really. I haven't really given it that much thought, but Jesus, it's like twice the wingspan of my mouth.
If you shaved, can you please shave your beard for the next episode?
No, you don't want to see it. I've
Please,
done.
please.
Once every couple of years, Simon, there's a thought pops into my head of like, I might watch. We were talking about The Bear last week. I might watch Chef Carm. He's got a very clean cut look. Or I might see, an episode of Smallville, and I see Superman with his nice, shaved, clean. Or I might see a Gillette ad, and there's a strong man, and he's shaving, and I think that could be me. I could, similar to the blonde buzz cut. I think, oh yeah, there's a really handsome guy. I could do that. And then I shave off my beard, and it's just a disaster. I look like a beluga whale. It's horrible. I look like one of those pink river dolphins from the Amazon. It's awful.
Right, so the camera's on you. You've already got your 5 chins.
Yeah, I mean, I would turn and face the camera like a man and not hide in my camera with all my chins, but it would be atrocious. It would scare the children. It would be worse than the Olympics, the Satanic Olympics.
Right, so do I keep the mo? That's the question. Do I go full Kami? Do I just go clean shaven, longish curly hair?
No, I think you got to keep the mo. I think it's quickly becoming a brand.
I think the problem is I look like a 12-year-old boy without it.
Yeah, I think at the moment you look like a 12-year-old boy with a mustache. I wouldn't say it adds years to your frame, but it it helps differentiate you. It's it's a good pedophile repellent.
Fair play.
Yeah. All right. On that note, I think we're about at the hour mark, so let's knock it on the head.
All right, 50 likes and Alistair shaves his beard for next step.
We're not getting 50 likes. Come on, Simon.
The gauntlet has been thrown down, listeners. 50 likes, 50 and this man comes back clean shaven with his girthy mustache in full flight.
I mean, I could go. We could 100 likes, and I could shave the beard and just leave the mustache.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Keep
that's
the mustache.
What you're saying. Okay, so not completely clean shaven, but just a mustache.
Was it 100 likes?
I've never twirled it before.
See, it's a strong mo. I think the concerning part about mine has gotten a bit longer, but I feel like it's hit its ceiling. Like I'm the Julian Dessart, where it's like, no, I'm the Mike Tresor, whereas like it's good in Belgian league, but if I want to jump up into the Premier League of mustaches, it just is not quite that level.
Yeah, you get out there, your first game, and there's like, bushy mows, there's like handlebars, you've got like, some one of those big ones that like joins up with the mutton chops, like, and you're like, fuck, I'm out of my depth here. He just hasn't made the step up to the big leagues. Simon's mustache is signed with PSV.
Gone back to a bunch of 12-year-olds and where I can dominate the field once again.
I love it. I can't wait for Moon or Doon next week when we discuss the transfer rumours for your moustache.
Oh, it's great. All right.
Love
Catch you later, mates.